Hello and welcome to the Yankees on Deck podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cunningham, and the Yankees win the series out in Anaheim. They beat the Los Angeles Angels tonight 8-3. They take 2 out of 3. They bounce back these last 2 games of the series after losing a bit of a heartbreaker the first game of the series. And the Yankees are now back to 20 games above 500. They have now a record of 39-19. The Angels, on the other hand, are a very bad baseball team. They are now 21-35. They sit in last place in the AL West, 9 games out of first place. That is a team that has dealt with a lot recently. Mike Trout went down several weeks ago. The injury bug continues to hamper that guy's career. And obviously, they don't have Shohei Ohtani this year, losing him in free agency. And then with the pitching, too, with them, it's always an issue. So they are a very banged up team and also a team that just really has lost a lot of talent, and they're not good. And honestly, the Yankees should have swept this series, but first game just you know didn't go our way. But we're gonna break down the whole series. We're gonna break it all down, and let's start with the most recent game being tonight. It's almost 1 o'clock here on the East Coast, so I can't talk too loud, so hopefully you guys can hear me enough. But Carlos Rodon, he got the ball for us tonight in this third game. He was excellent. Went 6 innings. Did give up 3 earned runs, but it was because he got taken out in the seventh, and there were 2 runners on, and those runners were able to come home when Yankees brought in, 2 other relievers. It's whatever. He technically only gave up 1 run because, he gave up a solo shot to Logan O'Hoppe in the second inning. But other than that, he was perfect. After that, he settled down, and he was fine. And also an interesting stat, too, provided by the S Network, Rodon has given up 10 home runs this year, and all of them have been solo shots. So, look, if you're going to give up home runs, like Rodon has a little bit this year, at least they're solo shots, very limited damage. He was able to settle down after that, six innings pitched, did give up 3 earned runs because, 2 runners got on. He gave up a run on like a double. Problem is Yankees scored like crazy in the top half, and he had a little bit more rest, so I think it just kind of threw him off in that seventh inning. He wasn't able to finish, but his final line was great: 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Really, the only damage mostly was just the home run. Outside of that seventh inning, he gave up a couple runs because I think he sat too long. The Yankees, had a 5-run seventh inning, top of the seventh, and Rodon was sitting for a while because every other inning, Rodon, the offense was going down almost like 1, 2, 3. Outside of the Judge 2-run home run, which Aaron Judge had a 2-run home run to get the Yankees on the board and take the lead. They were down 1-0. Patrick Sandoval was pitching for the Los Angeles Angels. He not a great pitcher to start this year. 5.5 ERA guy. He has had some good moments for the Angels in recent years, good numbers, but this year he's really struggled. But he was great tonight, mostly. Outside of the Aaron Judge 2-run home run in the fourth, he was excellent. Yankees couldn't scratch a hit until that home run from Judge in the fourth. So, his final line: 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. ERA now sits at 5.34. So I think it was like 5.5 coming into the game. So he lowers it a bit. Lowers it a tad, nothing really much. But what really crushed the Angels in this game that the Yankees did was working the walks late in the game. Top of the seventh, the Yankees were able to tally 5 runs, 2 of them coming from walks with the bases loaded. Let's talk about it. So the top of the seventh, Sandoval's done. He's close to 100 pitches. So they bring in veteran reliever Adam Simber, 33 years old. He's had stints with Blue Jays. And I remember this guy, pitching for Toronto. He's a submarine pitcher. He hasn't been good, though. 6.5 ERA this year. But and he's old. I remember him too with Cleveland several years back. This guy really, releases the ball pretty funky like submariners do, but he really struggled to find the plate. Top of the seventh, he walks Verdugo to lead off the inning. Then Aaron Boone puts on a pinch run, and it works perfectly. DJ LeMahieu, it's a hit and run. I'm tired. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Aaron Boone puts on a hit and run. It works out perfectly. DJ LeMahieu is able to lace the ball to right field. Verdugo is able to advance to third. It's first and third, nobody out. Gleyber Torres comes up, and just a dumb move by him. He swings at the first pitch. Ball was well inside, wasn't even close to being a strike, and he pops it up foul, and first baseman makes the catch. I don't know what the heck Torres was doing on that. You have to have some situational awareness, baseball IQ on this. You're swinging at first pitch on a ball that's like 3 or 4 inches at least inside and off the plate. Come on, have some freaking situational awareness, man. That's just ridiculous. That's like a Javi Baez moment right there. And if you don't get that reference, Javi Baez is like one of the notorious guys in Major League Baseball that comes up in big situations and he just swings it like the most ridiculous pitches. It's like, come on, you need to understand the situation there. Get a sac fly, or at least get on base. You're swinging at the first pitch. On a ball that this guy can't find the plate, and it just doesn't make any sense. So Jose Trevino then comes up after that. It's first and third, 1 out. He walks, finally some plate discipline from someone else. And then Cabrera comes up, and he has a great at-bat. Simber can't throw strikes. Cabrera lays off those pitches. They're well off the plate, by the way. And he works a walk, bases loaded. Run comes in. It's 3-1 Yankees. Yankees aren't done there. Anthony Volpe comes up, who his hitting streak is on the line. 21-game hitting streak he had coming into today's game. And he works a walk. Simber's not giving him anything to hit. Pitches well off the plate. Yankees now up 4-1. Bases loaded still with 1 out. Juan Soto comes up to the plate. Ron Washington, the Angels manager, makes a pitching change. He brings in the lefty Jose Suarez. He wants a lefty-lefty matchup. Makes sense with a hitter like Soto, obviously. And Soto doesn't care. He laces an RBI triple down the right field line. Makes it 7-1. Yankees. Clears the bases. RBI triple, 3 RBI triple. And Yankees break the game open. It's just what the doctor ordered. Aaron Judge comes up after that, strikes out, and then Stanton grounds out. But the damage was already done. And Yankee fans can, take a little sigh of relief because it was a close game up until that point. And pretty much every game against this Angels team has been close. Yankees won yesterday, a nail biter, technically now 2 days ago because it's past midnight. But 2 days ago, in the second game of the series, they won against Anaheim 2-1, and Clay Holmes nearly blew that game. He had, first and second, nobody out. I don't know why the Angels didn't bunt the runners over, but he was able to get a double play, and then you had the tying run at third, and he gets the ground ball, game over. But that was a close game. And then the game prior, the Yankees, they lost that game. It was a nail biting game, but the Yankees lost 3-4. They blew that game. That stunk. But every one of these games until tonight, the first 2 games were close. So it was really nice to see the Yankees get to blow it open finally, with the offense. And that was huge. Unfortunately, Anthony Volpe, he was 0 for 4. So his 21-game hitting streak has snapped, which stinks, But credit to him, man. I mean, he's hitting like around 280, getting on base, stealing bases. He had an error tonight in the ninth, bobbled a slow ground ball, whatever. But he's been great. And yeah, the Yankees get the series win. They take care of business in Anaheim, and then now they're going to go to San Francisco and finish out this West Coast trip, which is kind of nice because I'm kind of done recording these like super late episodes, like the series recap. It's just kind of tiring. But to talk about the rest of this game, the Angels. I mean, their hottest hitter is Kevin Pillar, who's been a journeyman outfielder for several teams. He's 35 years old. I mean, he's their best hitter right now, hitting 345, 6 home runs. I mean, he hit a big home run against us in the first game of the series to, help them win that game. And, the Yankees, I mean, the offense really showed up tonight, thankfully. I mean, we didn't have to have such a close game the entire time. As for the bullpen, though, the bullpen did have a little bit of a blunder. Ian Hamilton came in to relieve Carlos Rodon in the seventh. There was second and third, nobody out. And honestly, Hamilton did a heck of a job. Came in, first two batters he faced, struck him out on sliders away. That was huge. Huge. Because at that point it was 7-2. And, Carlos Rodon, just, had probably the worst inning of, his outing at that point. And, you were just hoping to get out of it, maybe, 7-3 or keeping it 7-2. But the Yankees, do end up giving up another run because, which I don't agree. I don't disagree with Boone here, but look, Ian Hamilton was rolling. He had 2 strikeouts, but then the Angels called a pinch hitter. Willie Calhoun, the left-hander who, left-handed hitter, used to play for the Yankees briefly. He came up, and so Boone wanted to go to the lefty, Caleb Ferguson, but he's not good. He's got like over a 5 ERA, 5.6 ERA. He's not good. He comes in, faces Willie Calhoun for whatever reason. He's not throwing strikes, 3-0 count, just like that. Then he starts throwing strikes and then gets it to 3-1, gives him a fat pitch right down the middle, and Calhoun laces it to left for a base hit. 1 run is just able to come in on that. Fortunately, Tommy Kahnle comes in the next inning. In the 8th, he pitches a mostly solid inning. He hit the first batter, Nolan Schanuel, but then he was able to bear down, get out of that inning. And then Michael Tonkin, who has actually been pretty good for this team. I didn't think he would be that good. He was awful with the Mets and a lot of other teams he's been with, and he's 34 years old, but he's been good. I mean, 1-3 record, 3.27 ERA, 15 games pitched, 22 innings. He came in the 9th, and he got quick outs. So, and the only runner that got on was because of the Volpe error. So, credit to him, and nice easy win a little bit outside of the little blunder in the 7th inning. That got me kind of a little nervous, but we get out of it. And the reason I honestly get nervous is because even when you have like a 5-6 run lead, which the Yankees had, right? I get nervous because I do remember last year Clay Holmes blowing a game with I think it was like a 5 or 6 run lead against the Marlins, who were a wild card team, yes, but they like barely snuck into the playoffs. And when you have a 5 or 6 run lead, they were up. I think, it was a 5-run lead, and Clay Holmes gave up 6 runs, and we lost the game. I think it was like June or July. I remember it was a hot summer day, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, we had this game in the bag, and then Clay Holmes comes in and just right like that gives up 5-6 runs. So sure, it's rare to give up a lead that's substantial, but it happens. I mean, it's baseball, and it can even happen against teams that you wouldn't expect it to happen against. So, that's still why I get kind of maybe a little bit more nervous than I should during a game uh, with a lead like that. But that's why I've seen my fair share of upsets in that regard. So yeah, I mean, but overall, very solid game. Uh, Yankees had 5 hits. They made it count, 8 runs. Angels, on the other hand, had 4 hits and just 3 runs. Uh, Runners in scoring position, the Yankees were 1 for 6. As for the Angels, they were 2 for 7. Look, Yankees just had some more firepower with the Soto triple and the Judge home run. Those were the difference makers, obviously, in the run scored department and whatnot. Uh, but yeah, overall solid game. I mean, you look up and down this lineup. Volpe's hitting 283. Soto continuing to do what he's doing, hitting 312. His last 10, 11 games, batting average is over 350. I mean, in that 10, 11 game stretch is nuts. Judge is, in the MVP conversation himself, hitting 273. He has 12 home runs, guys, in the month of May. 12 home runs. I mean, that's absolutely freaking absurd. Uh, so doing what he does. John Carlos Stanton hitting 225, but whatever, man. I mean, if he can keep giving us some power, it's fine. Verdugo has been an undervalued bright spot of this team, hitting 260, was 1 for 3 tonight. I mean, he's a guy that he had a home run the other day as well. I mean, he's had a couple home runs out here on the West Coast. I mean, he's been a guy that, you know, he's been very valuable, especially left field. He's held it down out there. He's been great. He's been great, guys. He's a guy that puts the ball in play. He doesn't strike out a ton, which is nice. His last 7 games hitting over 300. Last 15 games in over 305. And the last month he's been hitting around 274. So like he is putting up solid numbers. He is putting up solid numbers for an outfielder for his position. Uh, and then DJ LeMahieu, who's just gotten back, he's only played 2 games, so can't really judge him having a 222 batting average, but look, he had a huge hit and run today. I mean, perfect placement. I mean, I know he really hasn't gotten anything in the air. I'm pretty sure most of his outs, if not all of them, have been ground balls. But look, I mean, situational hitting. I mean, DJ can be better in that department than anybody, and he did it tonight. I mean, just perfect placement on that pitch, on that ball through the right side with Verdugo running there. Called it worked out great for Aaron Boone. Calling that there the hit and run in the 7th, and Jose Trevino, he was 1 for 2. Oswaldo Cabrera was 1 for 3 and had that huge walk in the 7th inning that got a runner across and gave us a little breathing room. Gave us a lead, 3-1, and Volpe was able to do the same thing. So you got to love the at bats. That's what you want. I mean, I was just saying the entire inning, all the pressure is on the reliever Simber. He's coming in. He's walked like 3 guys in the inning and got the bases loaded. He walks the first guy he faces. He can't throw strikes. All the pressure is on him. Make him throw you strikes. Don't go chasing. Don't go trying to be the hero, hitting the 3-run home run. I mean, don't do it. Or no, sorry, this case would be a grand slam. Sorry, I'm tired. But don't try and do that. Or just, put the ball in play, try and hit a sac fly, something. They're going to play the infield in because it's a close game and, it's late in the game. They don't want it to get out of hand. They want to, be able to make a play at the plate if they can. But don't try and be the hero. Just it's 1 run at a time, guys. I mean, that's why it pissed me off. Gleyber Torres coming up in the situation he did and popping out first pitch because it's like no outs, man. You got to understand the situation there. Trying to do too much, obviously, but come on. So yeah, I mean, those at bats were by Volpe and Cabrera were so professional because they were like, "Look, Simber, you got to throw strikes, dude. You got to throw strikes, or I'm not swinging." Like that's the attitude you need to have. All the pressure's on the pitcher. Everybody thinks, "Oh, you have all this pressure on the hitter. Bases loaded or first and third, whatever." No, all the pressure is on the pitcher. He put himself in that situation by coming into the game and not being able to throw strikes. He put himself in that situation, not the hitter. The pitcher did. So don't, you have to look at it that way. You know what I mean? And you got to be like, this guy has to challenge me, and I'm not going to swing if he's not going to throw anything over the plate. Like, you have to have that mindset. Like, look, I got to be selective here, and it paid off because the guy couldn't find the plate. He was wild. He was all over the place. So, yeah, I mean, that's, and, you know, I, to recap, it's really late. So I'm not going to like recap every little thing from every game, but I want to jump to the other games uh, because those are important, you know. Um, so the first game, the Yankees lose 3-4. Uh, they were up 1-0 in the first. Soto hit a home run, solo shot, crushed it. And then they were able to, Angels came back in the bottom of the first, scored 2 runs. And you're like, oh, crap, man. They were just, Kevin Pillar. We've talked about it. Kevin Pillar, he hit a 2-run home run. And it's crazy, man. That guy's like a journeyman outfielder. He's had over 10 years in the big leagues, but he's not like, he hasn't always been like a starter. He was for a bit with the Blue Jays, but he's a player that, really grinds and earns his playing time, and very respectable player, but not like a star or anything. And he's old now, but he's been crushing it for the Angels. Like I said, their best hitter on that team right now, hitting well over 300. He hits a 2-run home run in the bottom of the first. And then, so it's 2-1 Angels at that point for a while, and for a little bit, not a while, until the top of the fourth. The Yankees are able to scratch across another run thanks to a Juan Soto sacrifice fly. It's now tied 2-2. And then they're able to get another run in the top of the fifth thanks to an Austin Wells double. He crushed it. Wells, I remember he hit a ball in I think it was like the second inning that I don't know how it didn't get out. He like crushed it to right field. It was over 100 miles an hour off the bat. Somehow it stayed in the ballpark. And then he comes up again. He's able to do damage, find a hole. I mean, that's baseball, man. Sometimes you hit a ball hard and it's right on the screws and it's at somebody. And then other times you hit a ball incredibly hard and, it finds a gap. That's what he was able to do this at bat, give the Yankees the lead 3-2. And, then the Yankees, hold that lead for the next 2 innings, 6th and 7th. And then the bottom of the 8th, it just unravels. The Angels, they get 2 runs thanks to a Willie Calhoun RBI hit. And yeah, I mean, it just, and then a Luis Rengifo, or no, sorry, not Rengifo, Taylor Ward hit an RBI double to make it 4-3. And you're like, oh, crap, man. Yankees had a lead. They blew it. But the key thing with that is the inning would have been over if not for Rizzo just having to like half dive on a ball hit by Rengifo that he should have had. He couldn't come up with it. Inning got extended. And then Ward's able to drive in another run. And it just sucks, man. That was just, sloppy defense and giving the Angels extra outs. And yeah, that was your ball game pretty much. Then Yankees really couldn't do anything, heading into the the ninth. And yeah, so that was the game. That stunk, incredibly frustrating. Considering like they also said too, the Yankees record since like 2021 heading into that game at Angel Stadium was like 4-21 or something ridiculous. And I'm like, yeah, man, like we just haven't been playing well there the last several years. So that sucked. And then you jump to Wednesday's game. Wednesday's game, the Yankees win 2-1, but it was a nail biter. Offense really didn't do much. They didn't score until the fourth inning, thanks to an Alex Verdugo home run. And we've talked about him, how great he's been. He hit it to right field, crushed it, 101 miles an hour off the bat, almost 400 feet. That guy's been amazing. And another large reason why we won is because of Luis Hill. Luis Hill was excellent for us. I mean, this guy's in the Cy Young race right now. He threw 8 solid innings, only gave up 1 earned run, had 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. I mean, unfreaking real, guys. His ERA is 1.99. He's an ERA under 2. This guy, the season ended today, he's winning the Cy Young. He's winning the AL Cy Young. I mean, it's unreal. He's 25 years old. Yankees, too. Yankees acquired him several years ago. I believe it was 2015 or 2016. They acquired him in a trade with the Minnesota Twins for outfield prospect Jake Cave, who never amounted to much in the major leagues. He got called up by the Twins, but then he didn't, he was there for like a year or two. Then they cut him. Then he got picked up by the Phillies, and I don't know where he is now. But that guy was like pretty much, a career bench bat, at the major league level and in large part a minor leaguer. So the Yankees are able to get this kind of arm for J.K. I mean, unreal, man. Like, you look at that trade, it's like, my goodness. He's been amazing, Luis Hill, and he's 25 years old. Yankees have him locked up till 2029. And look, yes, he's coming off the Tommy John recovery, but how do you take this guy out of the rotation, man? Especially now that Clark Schmidt is hurt. Unfortunate news. That sucks. Clark Schmidt on the 15-day IL with lat strain, apparently. And then they gave the update tonight that he's not going to be able to throw for 4 to 6 weeks. So it's way longer than 15 days now, and it sucks, man. And that means he's going to be out for probably a good 2 months, because if you can't throw for 4 to 6 weeks, that's a month right there, and then he's got to ramp up again, and then go through rehab and all that. That's going to be another month. It's like, oh man, it just sucks. He's been the second best pitcher in our starting rotation right now, behind Luis Hill. Second lowest ERA, 2.2. I mean, it just sucks, man. It's awful. It's awful. But the Yankees win tonight, and winning always makes tough news like that feel a little bit better. So, yeah, all right, that's recapping the second game. But actually, too, what I want to cover real quick in that second game, the umpiring, guys, I need to address this in the series recap. The umpiring has been flat out a joke. And I don't need to say that because I've said that plenty of times to start this year. So I don't even know why I'm really saying it, but it needs to be said tonight, because in the second game of the series 2 days ago, the Yankees have bases loaded, nobody out. Giancarlo Stanton pops up a ball to the shortstop, who the shortstop on the Angels is Zach Neto. He's getting under this ball. For whatever reason, the wind or whatever, it's pushing it more and more and more to second base. So he's getting under this ball, and the wind is pushing him to second base, trying to secure the catch. Yeah, bases loaded. I don't know why. Here's what I don't understand. So this was the original call. It's a pop-up. Call the infield fly rule. I mean, I don't know. I just don't understand it. It's just crazy. So, at the end of the day, it's, because they called Juan Soto out. They called Juan Soto out for interference because the ball was popped up and the shortstop was going to second base, and Juan Soto had to get back to the bag because he didn't want to get doubled up. Because if the shortstop catches it and he's off the bag, he's going to get doubled up. So I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I just don't get it. You know, they call him out for interference on that, and it's like, what is Soto supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? And look, even if the umpire, I didn't see them call the infield fly rule, but it's like they were like, all right, whatever, it's interference, batter's out. Um, the batter's out, but then the runner's out, 2 outs. Like, what the frig is going on, man? I mean, what is Soto supposed to do? Is he supposed to? The only other place he could go is if he stayed off the bag. That was the only way he would have stayed out of the runner's path. Or no, sorry, the infielder's path. But then the infielder would have caught it and then just touched second base. Like, oh my gosh, I don't get it. I do not get it because the umpires. I watched the video, and maybe I'm wrong, but I watched the video. Umpires, I didn't see them signaling infield fly rule. I just saw the the ball drop because like Soto and Nito were like standing right next to each other, and then they call interference. But it's like, what do you expect Soto to do? Soto was going back to the bag. He didn't like. He stayed in his lane, right, in the base path, and Nito entered the base path. So it's like, what do you want Soto to do? That's Nito's fault. What do you want Soto to do? Do you want Soto to leave the base path and then get called out for that? Makes no sense, man. Makes no sense. And the reason why I was just typing for a second ago was because I was trying to, pull up because like I had the graphic for like the play. I was trying to pull up the video, but I watched the video the other day and I know what's going on. So it's not playing, but whatever. Um, but that's where I don't understand, man. This crap's got to be better. This rule needs to be adjusted because there's no way you can have that as a rule. I mean, the White Sox and the Orioles actually, I think it was like a week or two prior, it actually had the same situation happen, and they called interference on the runner on the White Sox, and it ended the game. Ended the game. The Orioles won because of that, and the White Sox still had a chance to come back. And it's like, what are we doing, man? What the freak are we doing? Like, what is the runner supposed to do in that instance when the infielder has to, you know, move in because say the ball's in the air and it's the wind, it's moving in a different direction. So therefore he gets in the way of the runner. The runner is staying in his base path. It's not like the runner left the base path and got in the way of the infielder who's like in front of the base or anything. No, Juan Soto stayed in his base path. So what else do you expect him to do other than stay off the base further and then get out because the runner, the infielder is going to make the catch and just tag second base. Well, I mean, what else do you expect? It's just so silly, man. So silly, and there's no accountability. And here's the problem, because only after the game they'll admit it was a mistake. When it's already too late and there's nothing they can do to fix it. Oh, sorry, too late. The White Sox Orioles game, they said that like several hours after the game was over that they screwed up. And it's like, well, it's too late because you guys aren't going to go back and redo the inning. Of course not. So you guys admit you're wrong. And then it's like, oh, well, sorry, we throw our hands up. Sorry, we're wrong. But the game still counts. The game's still over. Like, what good does that do? And I actually saw a thing on today. It was the Foul Territory podcast with former big leaguers, Todd Frazier, AJ Brzezinski. They were talking about how, should umpires talk to the media after the game? Like you have like the press conference like you do with the manager and whatnot. And I was like, heck yeah, man. Like, you got to do that. Like, you got to hold these guys accountable. Like, if they screw up, they should be able to stand in front of a mic and say, yeah, I screwed up. They shouldn't be able to go and freaking hide into the back room, the backdoor locker room for umpires. Heck no, man. You make them come out and you make them accountable and you make them answer the questions as to why they had the calls that they called. You do not let them go and hide in their little space in their locker room and then leave. I'm tired of this shit. No, you hold them accountable, man. You hold them accountable. Angel Hernandez, the worst umpire in Major League Baseball, he just retired a few days ago. They reached a settlement agreement, and yeah, he's gone. See ya. He was awful. Sued the MLB for discrimination, but really it was just he's a bad umpire. Uh, so he's now retired. But I'm just so sick and tired of it. Just never being accountability. And then they were saying, "Oh yeah, with the robot umps, like that technology is not going to be ready next year." Of course not. Of course not, because you give the umpires association, union, whatever they're called, you give them all this power. Major League Baseball just buckles down and doesn't do anything, and they just cower down to this union, and they just get away with whatever crap they want. Aaron Boone obviously got thrown out of the game because it's a disgrace. It's a joke for that to happen in that second game. Fortunately, it didn't cost us. I mean, we won the game, but say we lost the game. I mean, that play. I mean, we would have been screaming and hollering how we got screwed over in the loss. We did lose because of that play, because we had bases loaded, no outs, and it becomes 2 outs just like that because of a bullshit interference call. When all the umpires had to do at the very least was, as soon as the ball was hit in the air, just call infield fly rule. Just calling the infield fly. Batters out. There, no interference. Because I mean, why else would you why else would you have interference? Like if the batter's already out, then whether he makes the catch or not, it doesn't matter, because that's the whole purpose of the infield fly rule. So the guy can't let the ball fall and then get a double play. Like, am I not explaining this clearly enough? I just don't understand. I don't understand. And yes, obviously that would be dumb with bases loaded, no outs, because they'd be sacrificing a run. But I mean, hey, it's a close game. I mean, some teams honestly would maybe take that trade. So it just makes no sense, guys. It makes absolutely no sense. And it's got to get fixed. It's got to get addressed. Something in the rules, like, I don't know why that's a rule. But other than that, Clay Holmes, he was shaky in that game, but he was able to get out of it. So, yeah, that's really it. And then obviously the third game, we talked about that. So now the Yankees are 20 games above 500 again. Let's check the division standings real quick. Baltimore had off today. So coming into this game, we were 1.5 ahead of Baltimore. Now that moves to 2 games ahead. Baltimore is 35-19, and we are 39-19. And it's still a 2-team race. The Red Sox are 10.5 out. Same with the Rays, and the Blue Jays are 11.5 out. So yeah, all those teams, they're done. It's a 2-team race in the AL East, obviously, like we kind of suspected it would be this year, and what we've seen early on. So yeah, that'll wrap it up. It's almost 1:30 in the morning here, so I got to get to bed for work tomorrow. Let's go Yankees. The Yankees now head to San Francisco to take on the Giants to wrap up this West Coast trip. Started in San Diego, then just wrapped up here in Anaheim, and now to top it off in San Francisco. Should be a fun series. Interesting note, Cody Petit, who was great for us a few months back, making a spot start against Cleveland, in Cleveland, actually, against the Guardians. He gets called back up, and he'll fill in that spot for Clark Schmidt, who is out, obviously, from injury. He won't be back for a while, which sucks, being the second best pitcher in the rotation right now. But he will face Giants ace Logan Webb. So that'll be a tough task, but we'll see how it goes. And the Giants, who honestly have some good pitchers in their rotation. I mean, we got to face Jordan Hicks tomorrow, who was a reliever for a while for the Cardinals and Blue Jays, like shutdown reliever, throws 100 miles an hour, he throws gas. They converted him into a starter, and he's been great. 4-1, 2.33 ERA. So it's back-to-back nights are going to be tough because we got to face him tomorrow, and then Saturday we got to face the Giants ace and Logan Webb, who was in the Cy Young running last year in that NL division. And then, but Sunday we got to face Blake Snell, who has gotten off to a dreadful start for the Giants to start the series 0-3, 10.42 ERA, and also some injury issues as well. Injuries that have hampered him a bit. But look, this guy missed an entire spring training, so who knows? Maybe he'll figure it out, and we'll see. And also Sunday too is Lou Gehrig Day, so that's cool. But yeah, that'll about do it here for the latest edition. Series recap of the Anaheim series. Yankees win the series and now head to San Francisco to wrap up this West Coast series. They are now 4-2 so far on this West Coast series, and hopefully they can make it 7-2. That would be ideal. I don't think we're going to sweep the Giants, but 6-3 would be nice. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's go Yankees. I will see you all maybe tomorrow night. Actually, Friday night, I'm going to be hanging out with some friends because, I'm working during the week and then I have weekends to hang out. So I might not be recording tomorrow. So if I don't, then expect the series recap on Sunday. Otherwise, have a great night, everybody. Let's go Yankees.